Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today we're going to talk about the early voting that happened or that is happening in Virginia and in New Jersey. Starting in Virginia started last Friday. I don't mean the 26th, I mean the 19th of September, and in New Jersey started on Monday, I think. And right now we're just getting through the data and analyzing what could be the answer. Can the Republicans actually overperform what the polls have been saying about Virginia? Many polls are saying Democrats +8, Democrats +10, Democrats +11. Can they actually make this thing competitive, or at least in terms of the 2024 level, Harris +6 almost, or more competitive even than 2024? That's going to be the question. And right now, this is the votes we already have. In Virginia, you can either vote early by mail, early in person, or during election day, okay? Most of the people from Virginia choose to vote by early in-person voting. Okay, that's why we can have a long way or a long pair of data ahead of election day. So far, already 147,000 votes we have right now in Virginia. I mean the return from the mail-in voting and also the early in-person voting. This means a 5% return rate is going to go higher, probably up to 90% or even higher. We don't have the 26th, which was yesterday on Friday, because I'm waiting for so long for this to update. It's already 9:30 Eastern time, and this was supposedly to be at 8:50 on Saturday morning, which is today. And it's very sad because we don't have the votes, but what we do have right now is that Trump counties have a better percentage of turnout than Harris counties, as you can see here, 66.59 to 64. This is a 2.5% in terms of 2.5 percentage points difference in terms of the turnout. This doesn't mean anything so far because it's still too early. It's only 124,000 early in-person votes. We still expect much bigger than that. But what is interesting about this is if the Winsome Earl Sears campaign, the Republican campaign, can actually drive this to, let's say, a difference of 8 percentage points or 6 percentage points. If the difference is above 6, which was the margin that Harris won by 5.8, this can actually mean something. It can actually mean something in terms of the Republicans are having more enthusiasm to vote, which is curious because they're not in the opposition. Usually, the opposition party has more enthusiasm to vote for the elections, especially this in Virginia and also in New Jersey. These are very important states. These were the states that in 2021, when Jack Ciattarelli were very close to win in New Jersey and also Glenn Youngkin won in Virginia, it was actually a huge surprise. At least the polls were showing that the Democrats might have a shot at winning Virginia by a big, not a big margin, but at least a modest margin, and also New Jersey probably they have that locked in, and then Jack Ciattarelli made it think very competitive, only losing by 3 points. So this could be a message to the White House. That's why I think, and everybody thinks, that Democrats should have more reasons, that they should have more enthusiasm to vote, and right now that's not showing, at least so far in the numbers. Okay, but this is too early. This was only after 5 days or so of a long wait. You guys can see here. And then in the last week, it's probably when we have a lot, okay, because there's more polling locations right now. We have a very small number of them. That's why we have a very small number of votes as well. But in the last week of voting, or in the last 2 weeks of voting, we're going to have more election locations for people, election polls to vote for, and that will be magnificent for the numbers, okay? But we do have Loudoun County numbers from yesterday, here Loudoun County, and I checked, and they are at 4.4 thousand votes, okay? So this is an increase of the 3.6 they got on Thursday, and we'll see. The turnout here, as you can see, it's a Democratic county, but the percentage is very small. And when I'm talking about Virginia, I'm talking about this. This is the number of votes casted by electoral house district, okay? It's just not the house, the U.S. House from Virginia, it's the state house of Virginia. And you can see here, because every piece of the puzzle here has the same, almost the same number of population. That's why this is a very easy trend to compare, okay? So you're going to see here we have an electoral house district that has only 220 votes casted, and one has 4.4k. The one that has 4.4k is this one. It's a competitive district just alongside the very important area of Virginia Beach City, and also you go across to Richmond. Okay, this is the most that has the most. But the second one is the 69th, which is a lean Republican district. Okay, what I mean by this is you're going to check the ones that have the highest turnout. So this is that ones. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, that has been labeled as strong Democratic. This means the Democrat there usually should win by more than 20 points. But then you want to check the ones who are chosen as the smallest in terms of the turnout. Look at this. Only 2 strong Republicans. The majority of them are strong Democratic. Okay? So this means a lot in terms of what I mean by this. The Democrats are not enthusiasm. They're not having a lot of enthusiasm at all to vote, and this could be a trouble for the Abigail Spanberger's campaign. Even though I do think she's going to win by a very big margin, but this is not the numbers she liked. I know that we have two red districts that are right now with not a very huge turnout, but you can go here just across the Potomac. When you go to Alexandria and Arlington, you here, look at this. This is where the core Democratic is, the Nova area, the Northern Virginia area. So the math is for the Democrats. And if they are not turning out the voters here, they have to do it elsewhere, probably around Richmond. But the suburbs of Richmond are more competitive, as you can see here. Strong Republican, strong Democratic, leans Democratic, strong Republican, also leans Republican. But the core city is not having a huge turnout, neither in Richmond nor here, because the outer districts that have the highest turnout so far in Virginia Beach City area are more Republican. When you go here, they're more Democratic and they have less turnout. So this could be a sign of a warning sign to the Democratic campaign. They need to vote. You need to vote to win, and they need to vote to win. So far, you're not getting what you need. And when you go to the data and you're seeing this here, 66.59 to 64, you think that doesn't matter? It doesn't so far, but it could matter if this difference is actually bigger. When I mean bigger, I mean 5, 6, 7, 8 percentage points of difference. Okay, then you move to New Jersey. New Jersey is a different state. They have mail-in vote, in-person early, and also election day as well. But the in-person early is only in the last week. So right now they only have mail-in votes. The in-person early should be more Republican, and the election day should be even more Republican. And Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican, if he wants to win the election, of course he does, he needs to win the election day by a big margin. I mean, by at least, not a big, but at least a significant margin, because he won last time by only 2,000 or 3,000 votes. That's why he lost his state by only 3 points. So you could say, okay, he needs to win by 4 or 5, so probably he's going to win. The point is, many Republicans now are voting early. That's why the numbers could not be compared to 2021. We should compare them to 2024. It's better. Right now, the Democrats have a huge advantage, as you can see here. But it's only about 15,000 votes casted, but the Democrats have a 6,000 votes already delta into the Republicans. That is true. But let's just see. The return rate right now, which is this returns divided by the requests right now, the Republicans have 2.09 to the Democrats 1.91. This is what we should expect. New Jersey Republicans should send their ballots first, and then we got the Democrats sending, and it's probably better in terms of the long-term reading, because we can go like this. At least you go here to 24 general. Look at this, the return rate. It started Republicans were ahead here, but they start to be ahead. I don't know. I'm not finding it. But it's a very competitive, as you can see here, look, 0.10, and then the Democrats expanded, and it finally finished ahead. The point I'm making is very simple. In New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli has a shot. Right now, I would say that it's a dead even between both candidates, and probably the Republican Jack Ciattarelli can actually pull this out if, and there's a big if, this goes well for the Republicans. It's not easy, okay? But it's going to be a very competitive race against Mikey Sherrill. And as you can see here, this is the map so far of the votes we have casted. As you can see, it's only about 15,000. Doesn't matter. It's a very small portion. But the winning Burlington County early vote is not going to happen. This is a very important county. Usually votes with the state as a whole, like Bergen County, the suburbs of New York, and also New York as well, and also Jersey City. And here's the suburbs of Trenton. Trenton is just right here in Mercer County. All suburbs of Philadelphia. It's a very important county for the Democrats, also for the Republicans. With Republicans, if they're winning Burlington and Bergen, this means they probably should be good to go. But this is going to be very competitive counties. Right now, the Republicans are winning the early vote. That's not going to happen, okay? Still too early. The votes we have most are from here, Camden County. We have the most county counted. And if you go to the final percentage of 2024, so far, this is exactly the same differential that we got in 2024 early vote. Does this mean anything? I don't think so. It's still too early to tell you anything about New Jersey. if only 15,000 votes. We need to wait for the election day. I'm sorry, for the early in person in the last week of the campaign, and that could potentially matter. We do have here from municipality, which is very interesting, but just curious to watch. I mean, you can go for the requests, and here you can see in the requests it's much bigger, almost 1 million votes. And this doesn't mean everything here is going to be returned, but like 80% of it is going to be. And you can see the Republicans are actually losing every county, and especially Washington County, which is a very Republican county. But this just means that this is what happened in 24. They lost every county, and they actually, as you know, they actually lost New Jersey Republicans by 6 points. Trump lost by 6 points or something. So you actually really need to do better. Election day vote in person, and at least be not a huge loss in terms of the early mail-in vote. So this is the update we have. It's still too early to tell you anything, but I'm going to be doing a weekly update. And in the last week of the campaign, which is as you can see here this week, I'm going to have 3 videos. One is going to be the pre-election video, as I use, and it's going to be a live stream, okay? And also, you're going to have 2 videos talking about the turnout and that stuff. What's most important about this is on November 4th, the election day, I'm going to have a live stream starting, and I'm going to say this, it's not 100% confirmed, but the live stream will be starting at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time, okay? And it's going to end up at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Eastern time, okay? It's going to be a huge live stream. We're going to cover all the aspects. Don't forget, New York mayoral race, California referendum, New Jersey gubernatorial, and also Virginia gubernatorial race. So let's see how this one goes for the Democrats. The Democrats need to sweep them out, all the races, and we'll see how that will go. So don't forget to subscribe, guys. See you in the next, and don't forget to leave your like as well. Thank you.